Alejandro, why is my helmet wet and sticky?
You did what to it now? Oh, I suppose we're sticking with it then, chump. Have you brushed your teeth at least? We don't have time for jokes. We're gonna be late for the Grabby Awards. No, the Grabby Awards, the event where people choose the most disturbing video they wish they had forgotten, but never did. I personally voted for the greatest freakout ever, but I doubt it will win this time. I really like the part where he shoves the TV remote up his ass. No, but you must be deaf, since I told you we are in a hurry. Don't just stand there, grab a bow tie at least. We must look
Prestigious enough for people not to notice
we're not invited. How do I look? Okay, now, how about now? Yeah, you're right, let's keep it formal. But you know what? This whole dressing up fiasco got me thinking. Why are we some video game characters? That is so unoriginal. I know what we're gonna do today. No, we're going to make a video about creativity. Creativity in video games, to be more exact. We shall name it The Fall of Creativity in Gaming, and we're gonna be rich. Rich! Rich, I tell you! The YouTube algorithm will love it. I can already smell the views. I'll write an hour-long script and even interview some people. Oh my gosh, that's much cooler than sneaking into a furry convention. Come on, Alejandro, grab my shotgun and cue the intro. Hello every single one of my dearest viewers, and welcome to another episode of Purple Guy writing a Word document and then reading it out loud. Today I am filled with both passion and anger, as the topic I have chosen for today is very special for me, and it's something I am 100% certain all of you have experienced, or maybe even contributed to, knowingly or not. Of course, I am talking about expressing your creative soul in the virtual space of video games, or more specifically, how this wonderful cultural gem is slowly being taken away from us like a candy from a child. First and foremost, what's the main premise of today's silly video? In super hyper short, did you know big companies are bad, however, singular people are good? If you feel satisfied with this marvelous conclusion, feel free to watch Markiplier stack spoons on top of each other now. But for those who are here for the whole experience, sacred knowledge and fun, I have prepared a whole journey for us. That's right, this video will be an interactive experience, so make sure your hands are free, as I'll ask you in a second to type some words in the comment section, but not yet. I'll tell you when it's the right moment. I am heavily disappointed thanks to more and more mainstream games forgetting what is making video games stand out from other forms of entertainment. Unlike films or sports, video games usually allow the users to also contribute into the creative process, allowing users for limitless possibilities through means like modding, built-in editing tools, or even gameplay mechanics that require the player to think outside the box. Of course, all of the previously mentioned processes are completely optional, and that's exactly what makes it so unique and special. When you buy or download illegally a game, you aren't forced to participate in any of the brain-requiring shenanigans. You are free to experience the games you play however you want. Unless the whole gimmick of the game is being creative, but we're not going to talk about that. What I want to talk about are the optional, non-required creative ways you can modify your game experience or someone else's, or fabricate something completely new. How important are those mechanics? Why are they important? And what makes the current AAA game industry stray away from them? In this video, I will go in detail through some of my personal favorites when it comes to creating in video games to show you, my handsome viewers, what they mean for the game and for its players. and for myself? What kind of emotions do they evoke? And many more details that I'm sure will be a pleasant listen. With all that said, now is the time where you come in. I want to know what you guys created in video games and what kind of emotions and memories do you connect with it. It could be a custom map you created for you and your siblings when you were younger. It could be a very cheesy deck you built in a card game, or maybe you know some coding and made an intriguing mod for your favorite title. No? No matter the scale, share your experience in the comments right now. Game title, what you made, and how it made you feel. You can pause the video to write it down, and I promise at the end of the video it will all make sense. But now, let's roll into the first segment of our little adventure.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Starting with what might be considered a generational series at this point, Call of Duty. And for those who know the series, you might be skeptical how does COD and creativity go together hand in hand. But for those who don't know Call of Duty, I got a special guest to quickly explain to you what COD really is.
Hello, well, I'm AJ, and I have a channel called That Was Awesome, which mainly focuses on out-of-bounds content, Call of Duty games for zombies maps, as well as campaign missions.
Imagine that there is a person that has never heard of Call of Duty before in their entire life. How would you explain the franchise to them?
I'm trying to think if there's something intelligent to be said here. I suppose it's changed a lot over its lifetime, right? Because it was very different back when I started playing it, and nowadays it's very much so a AAA game, and I mean that by they try and sell skins hand over fist and all that kind of stuff. It varies year to year because multiple studios work on the game. It's not just not like a lot of games out there, which is just one studio making the same game. This is multiple studios handing it back and forth between each other. Yeah, I guess there's a lot to be said there. Certainly, it's changed a lot, but yeah, headline definitely FPS arcade shooter.
So in short, Call of Duty is a run-and-gun shooty-tooty AAA game, and I want to halt us all over here for a moment and focus on the term AAA, as it's a term thrown around the internet at random it seems, where you divide the whole gaming industry into halves, either a game is indie or AAA. To keep it simple, let's just assume that AAA means the studio behind the game has a giant budget, while indie means the game was developed by a single person in their mother's basement. So the biggest difference here are money and number of developers. Noted? Great! Now let's move to what makes this simple shooter actually creative. Out of all the Call of Duties, I chose Black Ops 3 specifically because it represents perfectly the three main pillars of creativity in gaming I want to talk about today, and will be referencing later on as well. Those being cosmetic creations, gameplay customization, and external editing. Firstly, the cosmetic creations represented by the infamous emblems. Each player has an option to create his own emblem in-game using a variety of shapes, letters, and colors on stacking layers. Although simple at first glance, people quickly got good at making emblems that would not age so well today, but instead of making the vilest and cruelest graphics you could possibly imagine, some people created emblems of their favorite characters, some of them good, some of them worse. This feature isn't exclusive to Black Ops 3, it was also seen in the previous two Black Ops, I think that's how you say it. And lastly, seen in Infinite Warfare. I think it's safe to assume this feature was discontinued due to the mentioned second ago unhinged behavior from edgy children. Smash like if you too saw something racist in your COD pre-game lobby. But there is no denying that the majority of players had positive experiences with the emblem creator. In Call of Duty Black Ops 2, it could also be used as a cosmetic visual on your weapons, including the riot shield, which resulted in one of the most creative kills ever recorded in Call of Duty as a whole by Vanos Gaming. Shoutouts to all the elderly who watched this video 11 years ago when it came out. Speaking of weapon customization, I do not count weapon camos as anything creative. You just choose one of the options and magically your gun looks like it's cursed. But what does count is the whole create a class system, which will proudly represent the second pillar of creativity, that is gameplay customization. With each title, the system is a little different, but the core of it stays the same. You are allowed to choose any primary and secondary weapon with any available attachments. Sprinkle some offensive and tactical equipment, and on top of that, juice yourself up with perks. With so many options to choose from, of course there were tryhards who all run the same exact loadout, and those same people are now most likely working at McDonald's. But for those who experimented and had fun with all the features this system had to offer, the gates of heavens are still waiting open for you. In Black Ops 3, you could jam pack everything into your primary weapon, or throw it away completely and run all perked up with nothing but a knife. In Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, you could even choose an exo ability, which all sucked, but who cares? At least you could choose something, and so on, and so on. Depending on the created class, you could play the same game but completely differently. Get a sniper rifle to get those cheeky picks cross-map, or get rid of your scope and one-shot people in the front lines. You like shotguns? How about 2 shotguns? And a perk that allows you to run super fast. Some of my core memories from playing Call of Duty is when I made a pistol-only loadout in Black Ops 2, refusing the AN-94 meta, or when I refused to play anything else than the super fast-firing carry piece with all mobility perks in Black Ops 1. So saying there were plenty of options is a giant understatement, but I hope this short description is enough for you to understand what it meant to alternate your gameplay with creative mechanics implemented in-game for the player. Another much simpler way to explain this pillar is by getting any card game you can think of. This genre operates on players creating their own decks and thinking of their own way of outplaying their opponents. I am a strong believer that winning matches with a deck that was fully made by you is much more satisfying than copying what the top 1% of players are using and winning with that. It might sound like I'm talking down on people who are copying the best strategies, and I am, but at the end there is nothing wrong with that. Lastly, there is the external editing factor, which Black Ops 3 is showcasing flawlessly. Enter the Steam Workshop, where most of the games that are available on Steam get easy access to all kinds of mods to their games, including Black Ops 3. How important is this segment really? What do you think is the most important feature or the most impact-heavy feature that has been added to Black Ops 3?
Mod tools.
Okay.
100%.
That's very simple.
I actually the only reason I go back to play Black Ops 3 is custom zombies. A lot of people love Black Ops 3 zombies, like the original things that were shipped by Treyarch, and I don't blame them at all. For me, when I go back to play Black Ops 3, it is custom zombies that I play. In fact, the only thing I have played on PC is custom zombies. I originally bought all these games on Xbox. Definitely mod tools.
So would you agree with the statement that Black Ops 3 without the mod tools wouldn't be as popular as it is today?
If you say popular is how many people are still playing it right now, yes. But if you say popular as in how many people are still making videos about it, how many people are still talking about it, no. Because I think a lot of that stuff isn't the custom zombies, right? A lot of the popularity of Call of Duty is what Treyarch did. I would say probably not. But I definitely think, like, if you say, like, Steam numbers, for sure, right, 100% without custom zombies, a lot less people would be playing it.
I wouldn't be lying if I said 95% of my playtime in BO3 was spent in the custom zombies maps made by the community, but this sentiment is not exclusive to this singular title. Call of Duty World at War is also no stranger to the modding scene, but without a doubt Black Ops 3 perfected the formula thanks to the ease of access to the mapping tools and ease of sharing your work on the Steam Workshop. An old game can remain relevant after many years thanks to the players' ongoing support, so surely out of all the other Call of Duty titles, the one with the most expanded and developed modding tools should be considered the greatest, right? Okay, so do you have any idea how many CODs in total there are?
Oh, way too many. Oh man, I think on Steam when you buy the bundle, it's like $1,100. So yeah, it's huge. I think it's at least in probably the 30s to 40s or something.
And out of all of those titles, what is your personal favorite and why?
Oh, okay. So I kind of have multiple answers to this, but the very simple one is Black Ops 1, because I think Black Ops 1 as a complete game has the most features, at least compared to what had happened before. Right, obviously, like, modern games have way more stuff than it, I suppose. But comparing it to what had come before it, Modern Warfare 2, it had not only, of course, a pretty damn good multiplayer and a really good campaign, probably one of the best campaigns of all time.
You want the numbers, Mason. That's all we've ever wanted.
It also had a fantastic zombies mode. It also had Dead Ops Arcade, which is just a really weird little arcade game that no one expected to have the game, and they just threw it in there. It's fantastic. It also had COD points before they were things that you would buy with your literal wallet in real life to get skins. It was a way to actually buy weapons and camos and things in game. The things that you would normally get through leveling up, you now had a currency in game to do that. And because of that, you also had wager matches, which were some of the best things in the Call of Duty franchise. I absolutely love them. I wish they would come back. I don't think they ever will. Not only that, on top of all of that stuff, it had one of the best private match systems where you could save custom game essentially, and you could also upload it and share it with your friends, which was huge. And of course that got abused really badly.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Black Ops 1 the first title that introduced theater mode?
I think you're right. I think it was the first title with theater mode, yeah.
Oh.
And also had a lot of issues with it because of the file sharing aspect of it.
Now I would like to ask you, what are the best 3 years for Call of Duty as a franchise in your opinion? So what 3 titles in a row are the best like time period for Call of Duty as a franchise?
So if I have to stick to only 3, it would be Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, and then Modern Warfare 3. Those 3 titles back to back. That was, for me, my golden age of Call of Duty. That era, although I hate to leave Black Ops 2 out of it because I'm a big zombies guy, and Black Ops 2 has some of the best zombies maps, at least in its DLC. But that's probably my golden age.
People like to believe that indie games are much better than AAA titles thanks to the creative freedom they offer, like Balatro, a goddamn poker roguelike, having a mod that allows you to play multiplayer, but there is truly nothing better than seeing the game you love have built-in tools for you to cook up something yourself. Studios with bigger budgets are more than able to dedicate a part of their development team to polish features used for creation, so it would make sense to expect more and more from the newest COD titles releasing almost annually. But the reality is the complete opposite. I can put just this one image on the screen and it speaks more than 1,000 words. Long story short, the present Call of Duty does not put the resources into innovation and new features. Instead, it all goes to the marketing team and the very monetizable skin production. A game where face paint used to be the peak of customizing your character has turned into a sloppy diarrhea waterfall of pop stars and celebrity 3D models you can purchase for a not so small money pile actually. Don't even get me started with the AI generated garbage recently discovered. Oh, and speaking of AI and creativity, we'll talk about it later on in the next chapters. It's when the greed sets in, does a cultural piece of gaming history fall into irrelevancy as the main identity of the game slowly fades away behind the clouds of rushed content, censorship, and paywalls. While I can confidently say the older titles such as my beloved Black Ops 3 are holding up the 3 main columns of creativity well, the current newest Call of Duty, that is Black Ops 6, is struggling to hold up the gameplay customization in place. Because when you look at the main money machine of Call of Duty, that is Warzone, there is no place for customizing your class. It's held back to bare minimum, which in my opinion limits the creative thinking for all the players. But thankfully, not every game is like Call of Duty. Come on, everybody knew this was coming. Minecraft is a game designed for you to be creative in, or should I say, was. First of all, before we dive into the gameplay related stuff, let's talk about the Minecraft Marketplace. That is an exclusive addition to the Bedrock Edition. Everything about it stinks of corporate greed. Minecraft before the Microsoft intervention was as pure of a game as it could get. Just buy the game for the account, log into the launcher, and voila, you can have everything you want. Fancy a custom map, skin, perhaps a questionable mod? Just watch a simple tutorial on YouTube and literally limitless amounts of contents are available to you. But with this brand new button on the main menu, it's like someone pissed all over my beloved 360 spinning panoramic view. You can create your own skin, but it's goddamn 2025 already, and I can safely assume that the majority of people just download a pre-made skin from one of many websites that are out there. It hurts my eyes to join any major multiplayer server because everyone is either using this, or this. Oh wait a moment, I can't join any multiplayer server because my account is still stolen by some weeb. Thanks, Mr. Gates. I'd love to make you some lemonade and pour it all over your eyeballs. My personal issues aside, cosmetic creation pillar, beauty. Almost perfection. How about external editing?
Whatever you want. I'm editing footage of
I think it's safe to say we got that part covered too. But you know what? The damn marketplace is monetizing this part of the game too. Now, hold your horses. I think it's great that people who make content for Minecraft actually get paid with real money for contributing. But do we really need to try and sell parkour maps, age-old texture packs? That might even be stolen, by the way. And some of the most basic skins? Yes, we're back to the skins again, yay! I think you must have some serious brain damage to spend real money on this Wait, you can play as Java? Oh my god. Same exact story with gameplay customization. Maps and modes are locked behind paywalls, or not. But to be frank, there's nothing wrong with that. You just look pathetic spreading your wallet wider than Trump is spreading his ass for Elon. For me personally, Minecraft isn't about choosing a skin. It's about creating one yourself. It's not about buying maps to have fun on. It's the fun from making these kinds of maps that is the pure joy. I understand fully that my personal opinion may not be in line with yours, but goddamn, I miss those days where every world you have seen online or in person had charm. It had character, even stories sometimes, instead of perfectly curated maps made by professionals. Play the game however you want to. I am not here to say the way you are enjoying things is bad and you should totally stop because it's cringe. No, I am here because I want to remind all of you how cool creativity is. So instead of copying a build in your survival world block for block, try to make one yourself first.
What made you want to mod Minecraft?
Mojang sucks.
What a lovely answer.
I watched a German YouTuber. He's very popular. He's called Paluten. He had like a series called Freedom. It's like a 300-part like just let's play series. Really old. And they had all these mods that were cool. I always like try to recreate that mod pack at the start. That was my introduction to modding Minecraft.
That's nice. And right now, after you finish one of your creations or one of your projects, what kind of emotions do you associate with that?
So I'm the kind of person that whenever I do like anything, like any project, afterwards I look at it and I'm like, that's trash, I could have done that better. And I only ever see mistakes in what I do. Depending on who you ask, a good or really bad personality trait. Or I think it's somewhat good.
Do you not see anything positive about whatever you're doing?
I like seeing when it makes others happy, like my events and stuff, or like video comments, stuff like that.
Do you think it is cooler whatever you're doing with the game rather than just simply playing it?
Yeah, sure. It's always cooler to like make something yourself or create something.
Why is that cooler than, for example, you make a mod and you play it with your friends instead of just yanking a mod from online and then playing this with your friends?
Because like your heart blood is in it. You're like, hey, look, I made this. So like you can also like just expand on it. You can take feedback, and a lot of the time people appreciate it more when you like made something yourself. It doesn't like matter how small it is. But like the difference between cookies you bought and made yourself, you know? They just feel closer to your heart.
This game gives you a completely unique personal world in less than a minute. In this simple to comprehend blocky universe, with the combination of creative mode, let me repeat that, creative mode, you have access to every single asset the game has to offer. And if you include the commands with the enabled cheats option, you have no excuse when it comes to creating something cool. Or even something, period. My personal go-to creative build is making class-based arenas, so I build the arena environment first, then a small lobby with places to choose a class, usually via pressure plates, then I hook up some command blocks that equip you with everything I want for that class, and then of course the start button to teleport you and your friends to the arena and start the battle. Okay, do you want my pro tip for this or no? Or do you want to go blind?
I don't need your pro tip. Watch this. Oh, I need your pro tip. I need your pro tip. I need it.
They want a tip. Oh, they want a tip. Now is also a great moment to turn off full screen for a moment and check out the comment section, and let's look around and hunt for people who have mentioned Minecraft as their go-to creative game. Sadly, time travel is not on my superpower list, only flipping pancakes without the spatula, so I'm going to purely guess that if Minecraft was mentioned, it involved sharing your creation with your friends or simply other players. It's a very simple part of the creative process. Firstly, you have an idea or get inspired by something. Then you make it. And then you go outside and do somersaults. But if you're not the somersault type of person, you might find enjoyment in simply sharing your creations with others. And that's perfectly normal. Those who seek improvement might be also on the lookout for some criticism, and all of those things improve you as a human being. You improve your social skills by interacting with others online or in person, depending how you share your work. You improve your creative skills, which in case of Minecraft is building or designing. But to be honest, this applies to not only Minecraft, but any task that involves creativity like making music, woodworking, art, and so on. Now, imagine just downloading a map. You can stop looking at the comment section, that bit is over. Yep, right there, press F on your keyboard to enable full screen again, or if you're on mobile, make sure you're watching this on Wi-Fi, not mobile data. Where was I? Yeah, right, now imagine just schlabbering maps of the internet. How much of that process improves you as a person? How much are you missing out on for picking the lazy route? How much humanity is left in your human activities? Exactly. What do you mean, who cares? I care! With the internet being filled with AI-generated stuff, it's hard to come by some real, authentic human creations. Who knows if this year we'll be getting AI-generated Minecraft maps, and I guess I just want to see the internet being creative again. Yeah, this got depressing really fast. Sorry about that. Hands down the greatest multiplayer shooter in gaming's history. It's not an opinion, just pure facts, baby. See for yourself. Just type in Google the greatest FPS shooting game of all time, and there it is. There's Team Fortress 2. Just 2 teams, 9 classes, and over 190 maps. Wait, over 108. What's that? Fart monkeys. How did TF2 get inflated with this many maps? It's a story for another day. But what matters right now is that this story was not only written by one entity. This number represents years of collaboration between the developers and their community. But let's start from the beginning. Valve, who is responsible for birthing TF2 onto this world and also making boomers lose on some sleep, went not 1, but 2 steps further than any other ordinary game publisher. Alongside TF2, Volvo also created the Hammer editor and the Source filmmaker. However, I will talk about weapons now. Yeah, that's right, this video is sponsored by ADHD and my awful script writing. 10 likes and I'll never upload again. And also subscribe to see if I kept my promise. Now, Alejandro, could you play the penis gun transition, please? Weapons and their combinations are the bread and butter of this game. Unlike previously mentioned Call of Duty, there aren't any perks to choose from or no silly tactical equipment. You're only presented with an option to switch between 3 of your weapons: the primary, secondary, and melee. There's also Spy. There are of course loadouts that have been established as stupidly broken when used by the sweatiest of tryhards, such as Blackbox Baby and Fada's Family Business. Yet you still see people do outstanding plays with weapons and loadouts that are being slept on. Greatest example that might not be the most up-to-date and freshest anymore, but is still worth a mention, is how the player Antoni has single-handedly proven the TF2 competitive players that a weapon called Beggar's Bazooka is more available than you think. He took the bomb them meme and cranked it up to 11, resulting in a unique playstyle in an otherwise stale and considered by some solved format. I myself am not the most original player of them all. I play sniper with a kitchen utensil, scalped crocodile skin.
I'm gonna give him a chicken. Piękny, it's beautiful. O kurwa. Płynie mi do... Uciekaj, kurwa stąd. Get out of here. Popatrz jaka Francja. Gotta move out.
And some sticks tied together with strings, and I am having a blast playing the game my own original way. The beauty sometimes lies in the simplicity, and in this case, that's all it takes for the gameplay customization to feel rich and diverse while being readable and understandable. Let's take for example a Demonite, which is a term used to describe a Demoman player who plays strictly melee only. To assist them and make the strategy even viable in the first place, the Demoman has access to a plethora of shields shields, swords, and footwear. Thanks to that, you can clearly see what is he planning to play like, or what is his gimmick. This is what we call a pinball. This is what we call fair and balanced, and this is what we call a problem. Cosmetic customization operates on a very similar basis. For each class you have 3 cosmetic slots, and the library of said cosmetics is quite big, to say the least. Just make sure your chosen items do not overlap each other, and voila, you're free to go to create any loadout that suits your style. But this feels kind of cheaty. You're not actually creating any of the cosmetics, you just grab something that exists and arrange it with other things that exist too, leading to all the creative work being just picking 3 items, and that's it. Or is it? There are a couple of items that the decal tool can be used on. This tool allows the users to insert any image they want inside the game and wear it proudly on their virtual characters or use them as a weapon to smack the heads of your enemies. The TF2 players have found marvelous ways to revolutionize this mechanic and bring some truly beautiful and unique pieces of art into the game. No, of course degenerates ruin this feature by spamming racist symbols, vile images, or straight up pornography. As you might imagine, streamers adore this mechanic, and sadly that's it for the creative side of things regarding this game. Or is it? I have mentioned a second ago the Source Filmmaker and the Hammer Map Editor. They are both great programs that allow the users to manifest magnificent creations and upload them online. But can you even grasp the idea of how much content there is online? Those 190 maps I mentioned at the beginning, yet this isn't Volvo working overtime. I'm going to take you on a short walk through the TF2 map list. From 2015, you can see a silly trend where the developer Valve on the right side is slowly being replaced by individual names. Those names are none other than members of the TF2 community. And how much of that user-made content is not only maps or cool posters, those are guides, clip compilations, full movies, and simply put, all kinds of media that are inspired or based on the main game. These factors may not influence, or should I say edit, your gameplay directly, like I originally established with the name of the third pillar of creativity, but they do have an impact on the perception of the game they are related to, and on top of that, it's free advertisement for the game. It's thanks to the game's original inception, it is sprouting its roots across the online space and making people want to make, or should I say create, videos about it, be it a silly gameplay video or a full analysis of the problems the game is struggling with. No matter the scale, creative concepts attract more creative interpretations. Do you consider yourself a member of the TF2 community?
So it depends what you mean by community, right? Because I feel like the word...
Okay, but if you had to answer yes or no.
I mean, yeah, I play the game.
Okay, that is awesome. And would you say you create something for the game?
What do you mean? Like, for the actual game?
Mm-hmm.
I would not consider that making content for the game. Like, what do you mean by content for the game? Like, are you equating this to a hat or a map or?
I'm talking about like media surrounding the game. Like, for example, if someone makes a fan-made animation in SFM, right?
Then yes. Okay, then my answer is yes, if that's what you mean. Yeah.
Would you say the work that you do is creative?
Yes. I mean, simply put, yes. I mean, a lot of it is just historical recounts of things that happened in the game or what have you. But like, I try to make my videos at least somewhat entertaining, and that takes a certain level of creativity. So yeah.
Do you find the process of making a video enjoyable?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's very fun. It like making videos has and always will be my creative outlet. I like writing and I like entertaining people. So ultimately it's just I always make a video that I know that I would enjoy watching. And then if by extension other people enjoy that too, then that's great. So really it's just I just like doing it. That's about as simple as I can put it.
If you found a way, or if you had access to somehow automate the entire process, for example, you only need to press 1 or 2 buttons on your keyboard or on your mouse, and that would make a brand new video of yours appear. Would you find that more attractive to you than the whole process that you're going through to create one yourself?
No. Hell no. That's like, what's the point? What's the point of making a video if you just well, like, what are you in it for? Like, are you in it for the money? If you're in it for the money, then yeah, that's going to be appealing to you because you just hit 2 buttons and then like, oh, all the work's done for you. But I do it because I like the work. So no, that's not appealing to me at all.
It has been confirmed many times that Team Fortress 2 stands out from other video games thanks to its characters and their authenticity. They aren't cookie-cutter dolls who are made with a sole purpose of selling skins. They have their own stories, problems, and traits. And thanks to that, its community wants to continuously produce more and more content, not strictly for the money, but out of passion. And when you combine the power of passion, creativity, and tools that don't limit, but rather allow or help the human artist to reach his vision, you get astounding results.
There are a lot of extremely talented artists that make content for Team Fortress 2. Hats, skins, maps, like you have to be an artist in order to, say, make a texture or model a hat. There's no shortage of artistic prowess when it comes to making that stuff for Team Fortress 2. Like, they are artists by definition.
Side tangent over here, but thanks to modding and Valve's licensing policies, we got mods, or should I say games, such as Team Fortress 2 Classic or Portal Stories Mail. One is offering the experience of the same game but in an older version, with cut content being brought to life and some fancy new toys sprinkled on top. Stories Mail, on the other hand, is expanding the already rich universe of its parent title, plus it gives some new gameplay. Both of those mods wouldn't be existing without the passion and creativity of their fans, yet they only benefit their original titles by simply being a free advertisement, and also strengthening the bond between the consumer and the product. Speaking some economics, it is obviously beneficial for the business owners to ensure their customers are not forgetting about their products, and fan service like that is a great way to reignite the interest of otherwise lost and uninterested players. Okay, we've been talking for quite some time now. Let's do a fast recap in a form of a few questions and drink some water. What caused the giant nostalgia boner for the older Call of Duty titles? What makes Minecraft lose its charm? Why has Valve themselves not touched Team Fortress 2 for over 2,500 days?
Oh my god, bro.
The simple answer is money, but if we want to be more specific, it's the industrialization of video games. They are no longer passion projects or someone else's creative work. Video games, and especially your major titles, are being bought out by bigger companies, and the chairman and the CEOs of those bodies do not come into this territory to play games, pun intended. They are here to make profit, and only when profit replaces the game do we finally get to talk about. First things first, let's get that out of our way. Overwatch and Overwatch 2 are the same game. The whole number 2 thing is just another thing they try to shamelessly copy from TF2, but overall the gameplay is the same. The characters got one new skin each, and everything got slight visual changes. Well, not everything, as some features got removed entirely. All you need to know for now is that this huge update was done purely out of financial interest and nothing more. To those who for some reason want to defend Blizzard, go ahead and keep on sipping on that stolen breast milk in your basement, and better keep quiet for your own sake. Controversial part addressed? Okay, sweet. The gameplay customization in Overwatch 2 comes strictly from the choice of your role and character. Team Fortress 2 has a philosophy of only 9 characters, but they are highly customizable, but Overwatch goes for the quantity game and gives the players a variety of playable heroes, each with a unique set of abilities. There are also the 3 roles I mentioned, those being tank, high health points and survivability, damage, normal health and high damage output, shocking I know, and support, helping your team with crowd control and healing. Most heroes are pretty bland, having super simple abilities that even a chimp would understand, and there isn't any way to alter that or tweak your character to fit you perfectly, is what I would be saying if not the new announcement of the perk system. The perks are, in very simple words, a leveling up system that happens in every match of Overwatch 2. In the middle of the game, when you reach your hero's level up threshold, you can choose between 2 perks to upgrade your hero for the rest of the match. scratch. All heroes having unique perks means that the gameplay customization maybe not skyrockets, but is definitely in a much better place than before. This change, of course, doesn't have to appeal to everyone. Some players prefer the game being simple and straightforward, but for those who seek richer experiences and value the option of choice when it comes to your gameplay, it is a very neat step forward. And with that, this concludes our positive segment in Overwatch 2, as now we have to talk about the cosmetic creations, which is more boring than watching a plant grow in real time. Skins are the worst way to implement cosmetics into your game, unless you're Halo Infinite, then that's even worse. Not only do you limit your customization to one choice from a singular library, but expanding the system usually feels unhealthy, out of place, and forced. Like, how important do you think the weapons tab is? Or if you want a better example, name one person who was excited when they announced the addition of weapon danglers. Oh god, the weapon danglers, my gorgeous. It pisses me off when you can clearly see some features being added solely for the sake of dollars. Calling cards, yet they are pretty neat. It's nice to have something to put on your profile. Stitching a tiny piece of garbage to the hand of my hero? Yeah, not so much. Going free to play is also a great example. For those who are interested in Overwatch but never had a chance to play it because of the payment barrier, it going free to play is a blessing, but this came with a cost. You no longer have a polished game for your own enjoyment. Now you need to participate in a shower of advertisements. Constant harassment in the main menu teasing you to buy the newest shiny thing. And I still haven't received my money back for purchasing the game that has been taken away from existence. I paid for the cleanliness of my main menu, I paid for a better anti-cheat system, and I paid for a harder entry fee, so those who don't care about their accounts will get swiftly punished for, to say it lightly, non-sportsmanship behavior, if that's what I can call being racist on match chat and threatening other players to game end themselves in real life. Oh my god, that's actually off script. This is actually like the norm in online multiplayer. That's actually insane. The free-to-play model can be a blessing but also a curse. So with a now better sustainable earnings from all those battle pass enjoyers, you'd assume Blizzard would keep on refining the game, like for example updating the workshop to give even more possibilities to the creators who, after all those horrendous changes, are somehow still alive. Speaking of workshop, we're approaching the external editing category, and workshop is a great feature, but it has so many limits and quirks that it's very discouraging for new users, which leads to the player base copying the only 5 good workshop custom games done by 5 people or not interact with the feature entirely. I wanted to talk about some Overwatch, and you, as I know it, are a workshop Overwatch creator, is that correct?
Yeah, I guess.
And I wanted to ask you, what makes you do the things you do? What compels you to making the creations you do in the Overwatch workshop?
Money. No, I'm just kidding. It's just that I kind of like programming, and so I just do stupid things that makes me laugh. I also get money sometimes. But no, actually though, it started with just me thinking like, oh, it'd be really funny if I did like one change for every hero. I used to like do stupid stuff like make Roadhog a sniper, and I just kept doing it and people liked it, so I was like, yeah, just keep doing it.
So would you say you're doing it for the people or for yourself? For your own entertainment?
Probably more for other people, just because I've started not really loving coding as much just because I have to do a lot of bug fixes, but there's still like a lot of it I like to do. It's just once I have to, I have to baby-proof every game mode sometimes.
Are you satisfied with the current state of the Overwatch workshop, or is there like
No, I'm not at all.
What is wrong with it then?
They need to add modding, just straight up modding. Like, Team Fortress 2 just posted something on Twitter about some update to the Team Fortress 2 editor, and I literally was like, come on Overwatch, please just add something like that. Like, I know we have the workshop, but that's not good enough for what I want to do.
Do you consider Overwatch 2, when it went from Overwatch 1, what do you think they were going with as their main selling point? What's the big deal with the Overwatch 2?
They wanted it free to play to get a bunch of players to buy their skins like Fortnite and make money.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how important do you think the workshop is for Overwatch as a game?
It's an importance that's not in the front. The front of the importance is definitely the perks, the competitive right now. If they were to update the workshop, it could be as popular as Fortnite Creative, where it literally overtakes the Battle Royale for a while. But I always see people doing custom game stuff, like my friends who never play the custom games. They'll sometimes go into a custom game between matches. So it's it's important, but not that important. between queues type of important to switch it up from deathmatch type important.
Hey yo, what the? Would you consider your work creative?
Not as creative as some other people, but overall I would say yeah.
So from a scale from 1 to 10, where would it be?
Probably like a 7, because I've done a lot of things that people have done already, but I have been told that a lot of my changes are really funny and unique, so around there.
And how would you feel about a map maker or a custom map creator for Overwatch?
I would nut. Like, can you imagine how much you can actually do? Like, you could do like death matches, you could do the troll maps that Great Blue does on Team Fortress 2. Like, oh my god, I would love it.
Personally, I did fumble here and there with the workshop tools creating multiple game modes, but I mainly focused on slider adjusting and clicking buttons rather than coding, but it was enough to make my visions come true. My personal favorite being a boss fight where the boss is an ultra fast wrecking ball that almost one-shots everything, and Sobra is disabled. This experience was enough to notice how limited the workshop is, with forced limits on those sliders, level creating being limited to spamming spheres that kill you or push you back, and many other annoying limitations that I'm sure everyone who touched the tool at least once or twice is aware of. Getting your game on Steam might also hint that you want to make use of the workshop feature there, which in case you don't know about, it's the tab where all the mods and custom content goes to, and you can access it in the most straightforward and user-friendly manner. But Overwatch 2 can brag about creations like this, or even this. I don't know if it's hilarious or depressing that the Overwatch hero models are more often seen on NSFW websites than in mainstream gaming media. I might even cook up a quick game theory over this. Hear me out. What if Overwatch was a game meant to be stared at and looked at by gooners and lonely gamer boys who are so lost in their life that they think all they can do is imagine multiple scenarios where they get to be with a fictional perfect anime waifu from their manly shooter game. That's why beach skins sell well. Pun most certainly intended, holy. And that's why there are so many perfect plastic silhouette female characters in this game. Oh look, here comes another one. Another arguably greater game theory I will talk about here is what if Blizzard purposefully avoids giving the players too much creative power? What if they fear the work some random passionate player will do will outshine the great efforts they are trying to sell to players as a whole studio? It does put a shame on a game when a team of professionals do a worse job than just simply a human with a passion. So what if we get a game where all the modding is allowed, the custom tools are more than available, they are a part of the game inside it and are encouraged to be used by its creator. And on top of that, the developer himself doesn't put money first, but instead the community. A developer who can listen and communicate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in this case, there's only one game that comes to my mind.
This is a certified hood classic.
Wrapped Up, who is the main developer behind Geometry Dash, saw the Impossible game back in 2009, took a massive hit from his blunt, a shot of vodka, alongside a quick sniff of glue, and thought to himself, what if I made it? Zoinky! Geometry Dash is a 3D rhythm-based action platformer, a wild combination that started peacefully and simple, but has grown into a massively successful game. Released as a mobile game in 2013 and later on Steam in 2014, the game is under constant support from its developer till this day. With each new update, added features are getting bolder and bolder, but there is one feature that has been inside the game since its very inception. And that is Map Maker. The gameplay customization in this game does not exist, unless you count swapping from a mouse to an Xbox 360 controller as a massive shift in gameplay. Pressing one button was never this versatile. You have a level and every single player will complete it the same exact way, by pressing the jump button when it is necessary. Same with the cosmetic creations, there is no space for creativity, you only have a set of icons and a bunch of colors to choose from. You can't make your own thing, that is illegal, so why in the world is this silly little game about a square, spikes and third ship sitting on 1k plus hours on my Steam profile? My dear handsome viewers, let me take you on a small history lesson, how this simple game about a jumping square evolved into a masterpiece. The released version of Geometry Dash had 7 base levels. They all consist of a cube game mode, which is the classic square sliding its way through the level on its ass, and the ship game mode, where you fly in a closed border through obstacles. There was also a level creator that allowed the players to build their own levels out of the few blocks and assets the game had to offer, and then share those levels in-game with others by uploading them. Simple enough, right? Update 1.1. New portal making you go the other way, and a new level. Still, simple enough. Update 1.2. New game mode, you can now switch to a ball that upon jumping will switch gravity, and a new level alongside it. Update 1.3. New leaderboard system, there's competition now. Bug fixes, more effects. New jump pad that makes you go wee, and another new level alongside it. Update 1.4. New level in which you can become small, opening new gameplay mechanics. And also fixed a bug that caused players with over 500 stars or 5 completed demon levels to crash. Thanks for that, Wrapped Up. Update 1.5. Another new level with a brand new game mode. This one was just Flappy Bird in disguise, but luckily players did not notice. Major improvements in the editing tools. Finally adding the copy-paste feature. More improvements and even more bug fixes. Update 1.6. We're getting spicy. The player's skill ceiling is rising. Therefore, with 2 new levels added to the game, one of them has the legendary Demon difficulty, which is considered the hardest rating in the entire game. We're not playing around anymore. Secret coins are added to all new and old levels, giving more replay value and overall value in general to the main levels. Players also can be black now. Wrapped is slowly noticing that community-made levels ain't too shabby and creates map packs which suck nowadays. Update 1.7, even more features for the editor and things are getting faster. The game can be now zoom in or slow you down to a crawl, opening even more possibilities for variety in gameplay. New level electrodynamics showing off those features pretty nicely. New colors, performance improvements, more map packs, search filters to make the player's job of finding user-made levels easier. Update 1.8. Map makers are eating good this patch. They can now playtest their levels inside the editor. And also we are finally out of the block zone. Slopes are the new grand thing. New level showcasing how to use this new feature properly. And remember that joke I made a second ago how you only use one button to play the game? Yeah, right, Wrapped said. Double that perch. With it comes the new 2-player mode where you can control 2 entities separately. More icons, more colors, and more features. Update 1.9. We're running out of original level names, but that does not mean the quality of them drop. Blast processing serves as an introduction to the brand new wave game mode, which is still considered the ultimate go-to-drop part gameplay. Drawing heart rate monitor lines was never this fun. And Fury of Everything 2 is the second official Demon difficulty level showing off what happens when your Dart Boy gets small. The map editor also gets a giant buff in the form of the ability to select custom songs from Newgrounds, opening the floodgates to even more customization. If you didn't catch that, previously you could only use songs that were in the game, but with this change you can use the music library of an entire website. Calling this feature huge would be an understatement, but there's even more. A new user account system that allows the players to track and save their progress, which was an enormous quality of life improvement as now each player has its own individual profile. Also, more blocks, icons, and bug fixes. Update 2.0. It's called 2.0 for a reason. Unlike Minecraft that will be on a version 1.69 very soon, the update 2.0 for Geometry Dash completely changed how you play and create in this game, simply by allowing players to make the static cube no longer static. Again, 2 new levels, one hard, colorful, and annoying, and the other harder, colorful, and slightly less annoying. The move feature, accessible through the move trigger, is used horribly at first, but the longer players tinkered with it, the sooner they realized it not only can move blocks, it can create custom backgrounds, animations, and even more things that were previously out of the picture, and that's just one trigger. The update 2.0 added 4 more of them. There's also lore in the game now in a form of secret vaults, codes, and animated monsters, and I haven't even mentioned that this update also brought another new game mode, the robot, which is the first cube replacement, meaning this jetpack boy doesn't have borders limiting his space. Also, speaking of space, we also have portals now that lead to very interesting gameplay in both main levels and user-made ones. So now, to give you a better perspective, the game went from this to this. But we can go even deeper, because update 2.1 added even more gameplay features. New spider game mode shown in the new level finger dash, yeah, that previous name was questionable. New orbs, jump pads, dash orbs, and many more new blocks. Also, only now do we get the first ever feature disguised to keep the players playing the game in a form of daily levels that give you rewards. What kind of rewards, you might ask? Brand new elemental shards, blue balls, diamonds, and loot boxes. But nah, not those kinds of loot boxes. These ones are purely free and are only unlocked by playing the game. The Geometry Dash whales have never received this hard. With all of those features, with all of this content, you might think, wow, this is a solid piece of gaming. And my dear viewers, you're absolutely right. But how is the game monetized? How does this man make profit off of this enormous title? Where is the battle pass? Where is the shop? Oh wait, there it is. But it still only makes you pay with the in-game currency, not real life cash. Where is the profit coming from? Here. $5. You cough up $5 to have access to this amazing game engine. Wait, did I say game engine? Update 2.2 is the current newest version of the game. Unless 2.21 comes out during the recording video, don't care. This update brought not only a new game mode that is the copy of a swing copter, but it basically gave the players a new game period. A second ago, I was naming the main features added in previous updates, but just look at this list of content. It's not like those are minor points either, like bug fixes or fonts, but those two. Platformer mode, which completely redefines how you play the entire game. The players already flipped the game upside down with the 4 triggers mentioned in update 2.0, but 2.2 added 86 new ones. What the Twilight Sparkle? More blocks, more icons, more colors, more secrets. But hold on a second. This video isn't about Geometry Dash. It's about creativity. What does all of this have to do with creativity? First of all, you're foolish if you think that. But second of all, let me conclude this segment with the interview with a fellow Geometry Dash map maker so you get a better grasp on what it means to make maps in this game. I want to ask you something very simple. Why do you do the things you do? Why do you build maps? Why do you make music for Terraria, for example? What is your main, horsepower that is fueling you to do the stuff you do?
Gosh, that's a good question. I used to, watch GD videos before I started creating in GD. And I didn't start actively building until, about 2020. I don't know how the fuck I've done half of what I've done in this game. Same with Terraria as well. I started composing for Terraria in 2018, or composing for mods in 2018. Just having that opportunity to do something, just to be able to create for stuff that I care about. Because I care about, if I'm ever creating something for something like Terraria or like GD or something, it's I always try to I want to share my creative vision, but also show that I care. It becomes very clear, especially in GD, when someone doesn't care.
What makes you want to put that soul into the work you do? What makes you want to be creative and not just copy paste the work others do and stand out?
It's the sense of I don't want to just blend in with the crowd and do what the everyone else is doing. I'm not like other guys. When it comes to anything creative, it's perfectly fine if you take inspiration, because we all do. As creatives, we always take inspiration from the stuff around us. Every idea has something that even if it's in the distant past, there is always something that inspires that idea. It's more clear in GD because there's level trends that have happened over the years, like the 9 circles trend, which is this really flashy wave levels. They have a pretty normal pre-drop, and then they have a game mode called the wave. The wave part has these really flashy parts with lots of colors and stuff.
Would you consider the GD map making, especially on a professional level, would you consider their work on par with, for example, painters or sculptors? Would you say it's on the same level?
Absolutely. This game is a game editor. People have made whole ass games in Geometry Dash. I've met so many incredibly skilled and talented people. There are so many incredibly creative people in this game. I've had the opportunity, and I feel very, very honored to be able to work alongside some of the most creative people that I know.
What would you say to the people that might feel overwhelmed when being presented with Geometry Dash for their very first time, and they want to build them up and they feel discouraged to continue making maps because they see they're not on par with everything that is happening right now?
Try to be yourself. Don't it's okay to take it, like I said, with any art, it's okay to take inspiration from others, but don't try to be someone you're not. The GD editor, it's so intimidating. When I started out, it was Like, that's like a whole fucking, like, that's like a book of wizardry. But, as long as you're able to put your own stamp, don't put too high expectations on yourself, especially initially, because I feel like that's what kills a lot of people's motivations. Mentally speaking, it can fuck with you a lot. And that goes for any creative space, but for GD especially, yeah.
Conclusion! Yeah, I bet you didn't heard that one in a long time. There are so many other games that allow their players to create marvelous pieces of art in unexpected formats, such as Terraria, Garry's Mod, or Monster Cards. And there's even more games that support modding tools and custom maps like Skyrim, Hot Lava, or Binding of Isaac, and whatever game that came to your mind. This is a great moment to once again look below at the comments left by you. Seeing people from across the world enjoying their time however they want to, doing whatever they want to, with no higher entity dangling deadlines above their heads or crunch time creeping in. The purest form of creating, which is doing it out of passion. As a content creator, I want to share with you this strange feeling of not remembering how or when did I do the things I already created. The 400 plus videos I uploaded to my channel, these couple of levels I have created in Geometry Dash, all the maps I have created in Minecraft, the memories with my favorite loadouts in Call of Duty, strange loadouts in Team Fortress 2, and the custom games I hosted in Overwatch 2 with my viewers on Discord. Trying to recall all the work put into those projects is like looking through a very misty fog. It's a very bizarre feeling, but a positive one. Knowing past me has spent time and effort crafting something that not only I, but also many others have enjoyed too. This is joy. This inner feeling of satisfaction is a distinctive experience those who create might be familiar with. You know that drawing is something you did, that piece of code you wrote is your writing, or that video you uploaded online is truly only yours. You created it, but you might not recall the entire process of making it. Yet it is here, and it's not going anywhere. The effort is temporary, while the final outcome is permanent. As an example, in Geometry Dash, I made the map move up. I know I created it during the pandemic. I know I built it because the Wi-Fi connection was ass where I stayed. I know I spent hours and hours working on it, animating details, designing transitions, and polishing the gameplay. I know I had to do all of that hard work, yet I honest to God do not remember how I did it. But the proof of me actually doing it, finishing the project, is there. And I am proud of it. This pride, this fulfillment, this joy is something the mainstream gaming industry is striding away from because it isn't profitable. It's not profitable for your players to sit in editors and map creators instead of playing the game and buying all the garbage it has to offer. It's not profitable to lure your players away to third-party mods when there is a freshly baked battle pass waiting for you to grind on the main menu this season. You're not supposed to create. You are supposed to consume. On top of that, the talent is slowly being overshadowed by the talentless. With constant rise of artificial intelligence tools, anyone can call themselves an artist, because this prompt gave me an image that looks pleasing to a human eye, just like the work of a traditional artist. But you see, I'm fairly certain that the feeling I just explained, the whole experience that is behind real carefully crafted projects, is the factor that differentiates a real creator from a mock-up creator. Some might call it soul, others may call it hard work, but I'd like to call it pure passion. With passion, not only can you create, but also you can cook with passion, love passionately, enjoy your favorite game with a passion, and much more. But there is no denying that most of us can tell when something is done out of greed and not passion. I'd like to think that the games people play, how they play them, and how much they play them is a very convoluted form of expressing oneself. For example, person A playing Minecraft Bed Wars 10 hours a day is a completely different beast from a person B hopping on their creative world for an hour a day to build whatever they can imagine. But ultimately, they are both playing the same game. But person B, with each day, will expand their personal portfolio. They contribute to their own legacy and construct core memories with evidence to back up their progress, while person A hops on another match and keeps on grinding. But you see, the beauty of creativity is that no one is stopping the person A from also creating something from those 10 hours of Bed Wars gameplay footage and turning it into silly videos on YouTube, solidifying your legacy, your creativity, and your passion, even after your soul has left your physical body. Creativity is a gift that all humans take for granted, and although this video was about video games, it was my passion project. It's something that I put my soul into, and I hope you will keep this video's message in mind and your heart for the rest of your days. My name was HeySimply, thanks for watching, have a lovely day, bye bye.